So now what I'm going to do is actually show you a few demos of what to illustrate Nelson's last few points about the rich user experience. But just before that, I'm just curious, because I'm a bit tired, and I guess you're a bit tired as well. I just want to make sure you listen to Nelson. So who can tell me what are the 3 components that Nelson mentioned for a rich user experience? The 3 big arrows? Hands up. So let's have a mic so we can hear you. Do we have a mic? Here, on the front row, please.
The HTML5,
yes,
cloud computing,
2.
and the mobiles.
Yeah, well done. So you get a mug. So if someone can bring a mug to this gentleman. Yes. So let me use, all right. Let me go full screen. All right, so trying to use Nelson's computer, so sorry if I mess up a bit. So let's start with showing you what you can do with a few lines of code in the browser using HTML5. This is running live on App Engine. Oh, I uploaded this just to make sure this is working fine. So it's a live demo. So the first thing I'd like to start with is graphics, which is a very important feature of applications, obviously. So I will first talk about the canvas. Who has seen The Matrix, the movie? Hands up, please. Oh, quite a few. Okay, good, good. Okay, I guess you remember the green scrolling text, right? So let me show you with what you can do. Let's see. So this is with just about 1,000 bytes of code. Bytes, not lines. 1,000 bytes of code. You can actually access and control the screen at pixel level. Remember when Nelson mentioned this? Again, I can interact with the mouse. So this is quite neat, right, with just a few lines of code. Let me come back to the other examples I'd like to show you in terms of canvas. Let me go full screen. Let me do one more. So this is a game designed in Canvas, Canvas being one of the new syntax elements of HTML5, right? So I will play this game, which is, again, there's no plugin. This is not Flash, right? This is the whole point of HTML5. So this is a game, click to boot game. Okay, I'm clicking, so I'm going to shoot. So in this game, I'm going to play the part of Gmail who's fighting the evil spam, right? There's always, tons of spam, so you want to get rid of it. Okay, and notice, what I like about this is the flapping of the wings. You can see the wings flapping. I'm killing the spam. Yeah, the spam looks like rocks. Oh, no, we have viruses now. Well, it's endless. It's quite neat, quite quick. So that's what I like about this game, right? Fully designed in HTML5 with just a few lines of code. So let me move on, because 2D is great, but 3D is very important for multimedia and applications and games, right? So what you want to do is, actually, what's great is that WebGL is now supported in many browsers. So I'm currently actually running the dev channel of Google Chrome, right? So it's the slightly unstable version, which has all the HTML5 components. So let me show you an example with ImageSphere. So basically, it explores what 3D visualizations might look like on an ordinary website, right? So it has pulled here a few articles, and let's see, it's not quite smooth. I guess some people are downloading stuff when I can't get enough bandwidth. Let's see. But basically, you get the picture, right? It's actually much smoother than this. Where you can scroll around, and what's quite neat is if I increase the number of web articles, for instance, it will remain actually quite fluid. So I will give you the link so you can test this, and it's actually quite nice. Okay, so let me switch to another example. And again, this is fully in the browser, right? If you look at the address here, it's fully running online. No plugin, again, I insist. Let me come back to this. All right, so another important capability for creating great apps is the ability to interact with a device file system, right? So it's already possible in the browser, but you can't do a lot. So let me show you this demo of drag and dropping files, right? So I have a drop zone this here in the bottom of the slide. So let me try to find some files on Nelson's computer. Let's see if I can find some decent stuff. Okay, so here you can see I'm going to drag and drop files. And what's interesting is that, immediately, seamlessly, I can actually, with simple CSS, scroll over and see, the thumbnail of the picture. And I can do this and continue adding pictures seamlessly. This is online, right? This is live in the browser. And again, you have the beginnings of a photo album. So some nice pictures on Nelson's computer. Still decent, okay. Okay, so I've shown you here two things, right? The ability to drag and drop files, but also to interact with the file data. Let me show you another example. Let me go full screen. So this is using the file system API. And what you can notice here, for those who are obviously familiar with HTML, this is a simple input tag. And I've added two attributes, directory and multiple. And what this allows me to do is actually scroll through the browser and get a folder and actually have it live, seamlessly loaded in my web app, right? So let's see again, I can have the same pictures, loading, take a few seconds, quite neat actually. You see you can actually immediately interact with, this is, Nelson's gone, so good. Okay, well, I don't know. You have to understand he's Brazilian, right? So I'm sorry if he's not wearing many clothes. This is his computer, right? Okay, maybe it's good that he's actually gone out for a few seconds. Okay, don't tell him, otherwise I'm in trouble. Okay, I think I have a few more examples. All right, this is cool. This is the speech API, right? So you want to interact with the hardware. I'm going to speak into the microphone of the laptop, and again, using a simple tag, it will actually try to understand what I'm saying. Again, live demo. Let's see if this works. And as I told you, I'm a bit tired as well, so I'll say something in that sense. So let's see if this works. I want to wake up. Bring me some coffee. Oh, remix coffee. Let me try again. I want to wake up. Bring me some coffee. All right, so it has actually worked, right? And what you notice here is just below, I've actually used, because this is a simple input tag again, I can use this and use the Google Translate API. So is this correct in Arabic? Does it make sense? Because I don't speak Arabic. I guess you noticed that. Yeah? So it's quite neat. You see, you can actually use multiple APIs, and you can do this today, right? Just with a simple HTML5 tag. Okay, let me carry on. Oops. All right, that's my last section of the demos. Device orientation. So I'm going to make full use of the sensor, which is inside the laptop, which is the device orientation sensor. So here I have a div, HTML div, and some CSS. And what I'll show you is if I take the laptop, so hopefully this will not break, and if I start to, to twist the laptop, you see, the div box actually follows suit, right? It actually. So this is using a sensor, right, which is in some laptops. But you can say, yeah, it's cool, but it's useless. What can I do with this? Let me give you a brief example. This is the Google Chrome logo, right? Google Chrome, in case you don't know, but I guess most of you do know, is Google's browser. And what I can do here is actually using exactly the same tag of trying to understand the device orientation is actually to look on the side, right, of the Google Chrome logo. Right, no plugin. This is live, right? Oops, I think I'm disconnecting some stuff. So anyway, like below and on the side, quite neat, right? So you can start thinking about all the kinds of things you can actually do in a website, right? Just using those new capabilities. So that's a last example. And I forgot to put the audio. Let me see, it's back here. Oops, sorry for the ears. And this is, again, using device orientation, WebM, right, the video codec, and some simple CSS. And what you can see here, let's see, will this work, is actually not not graphics glitches. Right, you see the white lines? So if you compare the audio, you see white lines? These are not graphics glitches. These are small rectangles. We can't hear the audio. If you can put the volume up. All right, whatever, there's some music. But what I can do here is actually, again, twist my laptop and play with their video. It's live. It's a live video, right? Multiple rectangles using device orientation, CSS, and HTML5. So it's a shame you can't hear the music. It's quite nice, but that's it. That's a few demos of what you can do with HTML5. So I'd like to thank you for having watched this. So now that I'm done, we have our next session. We're almost on time. If you can put the audio down so I can remove this, because it's fun. Okay, it's good. All right, so for our next session, while this is getting prepared, we'll have our head of engineering for the Middle East and Northern Africa, and he will show some cool demos, some more demos. Just one thing I forgot to say this morning. After this presentation, this demo session, we will start with the parallel sessions just after the break, right? But I will do some more announcements. In case you find some sessions too easy, and you're more of an advanced user, please don't hesitate to step out and go to talk to a Googler who will be at the demo pod, and don't hesitate to ask any difficult technical questions, so you can get the most out of this day, right? Maybe not everything will be 100% useful to you. Try to pick what is most useful, whether interacting with Google employees, seeing the new cool stuff you can do with HTML5, with App Engine, whatever. Don't hesitate, right? It's not always easy to make sure that we target exactly what you need to know, what you want to know more. So don't hesitate to ask more and step out if you find this is too easy or not interesting, right? And anyway, I will ask you for a feedback at the end of the day, so don't worry. We can always improve. This is, I think, also something very important at Google is always to test things. Don't be afraid of failure, as the minister has said as well, and try to improve, iterate, and make sure that this is more working even better. So I don't know if we are ready with our next talk. Okay, so let me introduce you to our head of engineering for the Middle East and Northern Africa. He's based in Zurich, and his name is Mr. Ahmad Hamzawi. Please welcome him.
Hi, صباح الخير يا عمان. زيكم. Everybody good? Okay. So Sebastian said I'm the head of engineering for the Middle East and North Africa engineering team, and what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be giving you about 10 or so demos actually. So some things you might have seen before, and some things you probably haven't seen ever. In fact, one thing I'll show you we haven't even launched. In addition to that, I want to very quickly get a sense for where people are from. So I think we have a lot of people here from Amman. For those that are not from Amman, can you raise your hands? Okay, so we have a lot not from Amman. Okay, keep your hands up. Keep your hands up. Okay, for those that are not from Jordan, keep your hands up. Okay, how about those that are not from a neighboring country? Wow, we have some people. Okay. So how about, where are you from? Which country? Syria. Okay, that's a neighboring country. Okay, how about you? Saudi Arabia. That's okay. Okay, so I guess you guys didn't hear the question. Okay, so everybody is from obviously. Oh, we have one in the corner. Who is that? Somebody's hiding? Bahrain. We have a winner. Give him a mug. We have one. All right, great. Okay. Next time I'll make sure I get the question more clear, I guess. Yes, but it's not a neighboring country to Jordan. We'll deal with the details later. Okay. So I want to show you a couple of quick slides. I won't bore you too much with slides, but then I'll switch very quickly into, I think, what you want to see. So I'll talk very quickly about who we are as a team. So as Nelson was saying, we're about 30 people that are actually representing Google here for this event. But in addition to that, there are many people that didn't actually come. And it's not just engineering, it's PR, it's sales, marketing. We have people in support. So we have a lot of different functions at Google that are actually serving this whole region. In terms of our offices, the main offices that we have a presence in, at least in the region here, we have one office in Cairo. We also have another office in Dubai, in addition to Zurich, London, Dublin, and then of course in our headquarters in Mountain View. And one other point I wanted to make was, you probably remember from a couple of years ago, we were actually going to open, we had the intention of opening an office here in the region, actually in Jordan. And back then the economy wasn't doing so well. So we decided to put that opening on hold. So there still is an intention to open an office. We are just not sure exactly what the timing is. So there are many different factors that go into when we open a new office, but as you probably all remember, some of you actually were probably interviewed for positions for that office. So the intention is still there, but hopefully down the road, we'll go ahead and do that. So one thing I want to just highlight here is that we have an organization internally that we call Google Technology User Groups. And this is a group that actually, it's a group construct that we have internally that's actually made by people like yourselves. And so there's actually one here in MENA. There are also others, of course, across the region. But the idea here is that if you're passionate, if you're excited, if you're really interested in learning more about Google technologies, open source, and so on and so forth, I urge you to check out this group here. So just go to amen.gtugs.org, sign up there, join the mailing list, and then hopefully you'll go to some of their upcoming sessions. So this is a good way of getting more plugged into what we're doing here at Google in general. Okay, so with that, I'm going to switch gears now. We're going to start doing some of the fun stuff here. I'm just going to double check to make sure that the projector here works. Okay, can you see that in the back? Is that clear? Okay, good. Okay, I'm going to need audio. Okay, so before I start actually going through the demos, I'm going to give you, I'm going to show you actually a YouTube video here. And this video is more about some of the history about where Google has come from, some of the different launches that we have. So this video will speak for itself. Okay, so the audio isn't working. Let's try it again. Great. Okay. So with that, I want to basically talk now about, where are we actually heading down the road. So first, I want to talk to you a little about search. So we're going to do some very quick demos on search. And so what you're going to see from here on out are going to be some examples of what the actual engineering team here for this region has actually worked on, in addition to some global launches that we've done. So the first demo I have for you is around soccer. How many people here actually watched the Barcelona-Real Madrid game? Okay, great. So, so some of you may have actually done some searches online to get some information about it. So let's actually try that. So let's do this. Okay, I think you can see that. So we're going to go to google.jo. Okay, so we'll go to the Jordan domain here. And what we're going to do here is we're actually going to go ahead and do a search in Arabic for Barcelona Real Madrid. Okay? Now what I'm going to show you basically is one of our features called cross-language information retrieval. Has anybody heard of this at all? Does anybody know this feature? Okay. So for some of you, you actually know what it is. For others, you probably don't, for the bulk of the people here. The idea behind this feature is if I actually do a query in one specific language, say in Arabic, what actually is happening behind the scenes is we take that query, we translate it to multiple languages, and then we see if we can actually find more documents about that specific query in other languages. And if we do, we return actually a hint to you that says, would you like to see those other documents in other languages translated in your language? So that's basically what it is at a high level. And I'll show you how that works. So I'm going to use one of our other tools that we built called Ta'rib to basically allow me to type on my computer here in Arabic. And if you're interested in more information about this, there'll be another demo. Actually, there's a whole session just on this and other language tools. So I'll type this, okay? And you'll see very quickly here in Arabic, you'll see some YouTube videos, some links here from Maktub, for example, and so on and so forth. And then right near the bottom, you'll see something you may not have ever noticed before. Okay, so this little, this last link here allows me now to basically see the other existing documents in other languages. So what we've basically detected very quickly is the fact that there actually is more content related to Barcelona, Real Madrid in other languages. And so what we're trying to do here is to surface more of that, the different content on the web in your specific language. So I'll click on this. And what it basically showed me here is that it's determined that there's a lot more content in English than there is in Arabic related to this specific query. Okay? And then what you'll see now below here are English websites, not Arabic websites, as a matter of fact. So you'll see these various links here. I'll show you the first one, for example. So this first one right up here, for example, is I guess the main website for the actual game itself. This is actually being translated by us. In other words, the actual content owner did not translate their title, nor did they generate any actual text here in Arabic for us to do this. So I'll just show you what that would look like. So what's going to happen now is when I click on this link, it's going to automatically translate that complete website for us in Arabic. And so you can imagine, if you don't speak or read any other languages but Arabic, you have the ability now to surface much more content available on the web. And so here is the exact rendering of this page in Arabic. And just to prove the point, if I actually were to render this in the original language. Oh, sorry. There's two of them here. This is the original website. Okay? So this is exactly how the author intended it to display in the native language that they are writing it in. What we've then done, of course, is translate it and rendered it in Arabic. Okay. So let's switch now to another example. I want to know if anybody recognizes this specific query. Okay, so I just did another query here for KHKSDUOVL. Does anybody know what this is going to do? Okay, so we have one person, two, actually a good number of people that knows what this is going to do. Great. Okay, so again, for the majority of people that haven't seen what happens here, is that this is one of the specific features that we've launched on Arabic domains of Google. Okay, so I actually did this query on google.com. What I'm going to do now is I will do that exact same query, but on google.jo, okay, and then watch what happens. Okay? So basically it said, you're actually looking for Nancy Ajram, okay? And so here, of course, is the query again, but actually it's Nancy Ajram. So the idea behind this feature is we've noticed in our query logs that many people will have, for example, an Arabic keyboard. They've switched their keyboard to English, and then, of course, they forget, so they just type blindly, hit enter, and then, of course, they get gibberish, right? And so what we do is we detect this based on exactly the patterns that we see in query logs, and then we try and rewrite the query for them in terms of the real intent of what it was. So this is an example of one of the innovations that we actually launched a while back, actually, just specifically on Arabic domains. Okay, so let's go back. And we have some mugs to give out, right? Okay, so let's give out a mug here. So here's the question for you. The question is, what percentage of queries have at least one search result, I have to fix the typo here, from an Arabic forum? And this is mentioned, if you're paying attention in Nelson's slides, this was mentioned. Okay? So to make it a little bit easier, I'll give you your options. Okay? 65, 50, 35, or 10. Okay, so who has the correct answer? Who's excited to get a mug? Who's really excited? Nobody's jumping up and down. Somebody jump up and down. No, not enough. Okay, you look like you're excited. 50%. Does everybody think it's 50%? Oh, hands are going up. That's not a good sign. Okay, who else is excited? Nobody's excited. No. Okay, let's try somebody in this one. Okay, the one waving his hand. Okay, the next answer. So I'm not even going to answer. Look what the crowd is telling you. Okay, next answer. Next answer. So we only have two left. 50% chance in the back of the last row. 35%. Congratulations, you get a mug. Wow, that was a hard question. This was an easy question. Tough crowd. Okay, so let's switch over. Let's talk about translate. So translate, you've probably used translate in many different ways. What I'm going to show you today is some different uses of Google Translate that you may not have actually seen before. So the first I'm going to show you is in relation to SMS. Okay? Now, just as Sebastian was saying in his introduction, I actually live in Switzerland. I was actually in the Mountain View office, and I'm currently on assignment in Switzerland. And in Zurich specifically, they speak German. And I tried, and I cannot learn this difficult language. So with Swisscom, at least, which is the cell phone operator there, I get these nonsensical SMSs from them in German, and I don't know what they're asking for. So I get these SMSs, and I have no idea what they're saying. I typically have to show the SMS to a friend and saying, you know, do I owe money? Are they going to cancel my account or whatever? So one feature that we've launched within the Google Translate function is the ability to translate an SMS. So here basically is my list of SMSs, and I'll show you what an SMS would look like from Swisscom. Okay, so you'll see this SMS here at the bottom, right? And so this is in German. For those of you that speak German, how many speak German here? Wow, okay, a lot compared to Egypt. So you obviously read this and you know exactly what it's referring to. I have no idea. I know something happened on October 13th. I don't know what that is. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch to SMS Translate. Google Translate. Okay, and you'll see a new button that we actually have launched recently. So this is SMS Translation. I'll go ahead and click on this. I will navigate. I'll search for this specific one. Where is it? Right here. Okay? And you'll see in this case, I actually have translated this SMS, in this case, to French. This is the last setting that I had. Of course, you can translate into 57 different languages. I'll go ahead and translate to English, and immediately I get the exact translation of that SMS in the language that I understand. So that's pretty powerful. Let me show you another example of a feature we've very recently launched, and it relates to another situation that I had in Switzerland. And in this case, it was a case where I shipped some of my bikes from California to Switzerland, and I need to basically fix one of my bikes. So I went to a repair shop. I said, I need to fix my bike. I would speak in English, he would speak in German, and we could not obviously understand each other. So what I'm going to simulate for you right now is something called conversation mode. And for that, I will need my trusty friend here, Sebastian.
My German is not so good. I'm not going to speak German.
Well, you're going to have to try.
Okay,
No, I'm just
that's
kidding.
new.
So what we're going to do here is we're going to do a language he's probably a little bit more comfortable with, which is French. Okay, so let me just set this up to get the pairs ready. Okay, and I'll hold this. So why don't you hold this for me if you don't mind. We'll just come over here. Okay. So I'm basically going to ask him that I'd like to actually fix my bike, all right? Hi, I would like to repair my bike.
Salut, je voudrais réparer mon vélo.
Okay.
Quel est le problème?
What is the problem?
Okay. I would like to change my brakes.
Je voudrais changer mes freins.
Okay.
Pas de problème.
No problem.
How much will it cost?
Combien cela va-t-il coûter?
20 euros.
20 euros.
Excellent. Thank you.
Excellent, merci.
Thank you. So this is just a very quick example of what you can actually do with actual live translation. And so you can imagine for those that are actually in business, one day you might have a business partner, say in China or Japan, or in some other country where you don't speak their native language. You might get on the phone, you'll be talking to the cloud actually. What'll happen is you'll talk in your native language, we will then translate your text into the language of the actual person you're talking to, and then the same thing will happen potentially on the other end. So you can imagine the interesting things that you can do with these technologies. Now, in relation to what I've showed you here, in addition to other ways you could use this, there are many APIs that will be discussed later on actually at this event in the afternoon today and also tomorrow. So I urge you, if you're interested in that, you should definitely come to those. I'll also show you one last thing as it relates to translation. And I'll be showing you something called Translator Toolkit. Okay? Now, Translator Toolkit basically is a product that we've launched that makes it easy for you to translate documents in batch or single documents from one language to another. I'll switch back so you can see what I'm seeing. Okay? So this is Translator Toolkit. Okay? And so this basically is this powerful translation workbench that allows you to do exactly what I was saying. So in this case, what I'm going to show you here is I'm going to show you how to translate an existing document, say, on Wikipedia, and we'll translate that into Arabic. So I will search for, say, Dead Sea. And we see here a Wikipedia article on the Dead Sea. And what I want to do now is I want to translate this whole article from English to Arabic. And just like Nelson was saying, we actually do have projects underway to help in the actual translation of content on Wikipedia from English to Arabic. And so what was actually used as the base of that product was Translator Toolkit. So what I'll do now is I'll just go ahead and upload this Wikipedia article. Okay? And what I'm going to do now is I'll select, it's already pre-selected English and Arabic. I'll go ahead and upload this now for translation. And what you will see now is you'll see basically a left pane and a right pane. What will appear soon on the left-hand side is the original document that you had seen on Wikipedia. And you'll see the translated version of that exact same document in Arabic. Okay? Now this, again, is another example of the APIs being used for translation. So you can see, for example, here there's an image. If I scroll down here, you'll see the exact same thing. And so for translators, for example, if you're doing batch translations and so on and so forth, this actually is pretty powerful. Another nice thing that you can actually do with this tool is I can anchor specifically in some part of this, right? So in this specific area I've highlighted here, I actually get to the specific translation that was done for that in Arabic. And one of the nice features, or one of the outputs of the translator work, the toolkit itself, is that if there are mistakes that you correct, we learn from all of those mistakes. Because as you know, translation is not perfect just yet, okay? And as a result, the more translations that you end up fixing, the smarter the algorithms get, okay? Okay, so let's talk now for the rest of the presentation around mobile. So I'm going to be giving you a whole bunch of mobile demos. Before I get into the mobile demos, I want to basically remind you what you typically get from a smartphone, right? So you're going to typically, in terms of base features, you get a speaker, camera, touch screen, you get a GPS chip, and then you get a microphone. So we've taken a look at all of these different base core features that are available on a smartphone and said, well, what can we actually do with this from a user perspective, from a sensory perspective? Well, the first thing is that with a speaker, we can actually have things come to life via voice. With the camera, we have eyes, so we can actually see. The touch screen actually allows us to actually feel, gives us the actual touch, in addition to, of course, being location aware, and of course, having ears. So if you take all these different senses, you can do some really powerful things from a development perspective. Okay? Now, before I get into the demos, another pop quiz here. So here's the question. Which mobile platform drives the highest search traffic here in Jordan? Okay? So you know the answer without seeing the options. That's interesting. Here are your options. Okay. So let's see. Who is interested? So let's take somebody from this side here. How about you, the second row? So we have an answer that is BlackBerry. What does everybody think? Wow. Okay, so the crowd has told you you are wrong. I'm sorry. Next one. How about somebody again from this side? Of course you. Symbian is the right answer. Let's give him a mug. I was going to say let's give him a cell phone, but we're not doing that right now. Okay, so this is basically over 50% of all traffic that we see over mobile search is actually coming from Symbian devices. Now, just to get a rough sense, how many people have a Symbian device with them right now? Okay, not too bad. How many have an iPhone? Okay, so obviously less. A BlackBerry? Okay, just as a, okay, how about Android? Okay, you're at the right event, all right. And Windows Mobile? Okay, so what does everybody else have? Okay. All right, let's give out another mug then. What do you think is the fastest growing platform currently in Jordan? Okay, so this, I actually wasn't planning for this one, but let's see. Let's take a, how about you at the end, the far one? Yes. No, not you, sorry, the one behind you. Yes, so we have an iPhone. We don't have an iPhone, we have a mug, I'm sorry. Let's give her a mug. Okay, great. So let's actually get into the demos now, okay? So the first one I'm going to show you basically is Chrome to Phone, okay? And this is an actual Chrome extension that is actually launched with Chrome. And you'll see it actually right here. So this is what the Chrome to Phone extension looks like. What this allows you to do basically is from within any Chrome browser you're using, whether it's a Google TV, a tablet, an actual browser, say running on your laptop or your desktop, you have the ability now of actually pushing information from that browser directly to your cell phone. Okay? And so what I'm going to show you basically are a few examples of how to do that. So in this case, I'm actually going to do a search here. So let's actually do a search for, say, Dubai Marina. Okay. And so here, for example, you can actually see that I'm now in Maps, and I know exactly where Dubai Marina is because I'm going to be traveling there next week, and I want to get a general sense of what it's like there. So here I can, of course, I can look at satellite view and so on and so forth. But right now I have to leave, and I want to push this to my cell phone so I can continue the experience. So what I'm going to do now is I'll hit this button, and then at the same time, I'm actually going to switch very quickly to my mobile projector here, and let's see what will end up happening. Okay, and I'll click here, and I'll switch. So what immediately happened is it automatically invoked a search, and it looks like it's going to take me to the exact same place, okay? So very quick. So what just happened now is actually we sent a message from the actual browser itself to the cloud. The cloud then notified my device that it needs to request some information back from the cloud, which is exactly what happened, okay? So let's continue this demo. So I'm still along the lines of browsing around the Dubai Marina. I'll go ahead and select this specific marker here. And let's say I want to look for hotels in this area. So I will search for nearby hotels. I'll just type hotels very simply. And then what I'll see here, for example, are all the different hotels that are very close to the Dubai Marina. And what you'll notice also is we actually have rich information coming from each of these different hotels about price, okay? So what I can also do here is, well, let's say I want to call these people here. I want to call the Dusit residence that's there. I can actually select this number. I can right-click, and then I can say, send this to my phone, okay? And you can do what I'm going to show you now with any link. You can send any URL. You can send a YouTube video. You can even copy and paste text to your clipboard. So if all goes well, you will see the phone appear on my cell phone. Okay? And there it is, okay? So what I can basically do now is I can call the actual hotel here. Okay, it's going to actually do that. And you'll notice something that appeared at the top here. I'll hang up before they answer. But I'll show you what appeared. So we actually detected that I was trying to call a hotel that we know some information about. And there it is. So say I'm using my Bluetooth headset. While I'm talking to them on the phone, I can actually get all of this rich information about that hotel while I'm actually talking to them. And so you can see this information, of course, that you actually see, of course, also on the website. Okay? Let's move on now. Okay, let's hold the questions till the end, because I'm probably going to run out of time, actually, and Sebastian's going to pull me off. Okay, so what I want to show you now are voice actions. Has anybody tried voice actions on Android? Okay, so I'm going to show you some demos that actually I think are really interesting. I use for myself these all the time. So one example I have for you with voice actions is how many times have you actually wanted to take a nap during the day, and you want to basically set your alarm for 1 hour from where you are right now. So what you typically do is you pick out your phone, you figure out what the current time is right now, you add an hour to it, and then you set that in your phone. What if I could just do that with basically by just telling my phone exactly what I want to do? So I'll do that, and I'll show you exactly how that works. Okay, so here's voice search right here. set alarm in 1 hour. Okay, there you go. Very quick. Within less than a second, of course, I can actually set my alarm. I click set. At the bottom here, it says it'll be set for 59 minutes from now. So that's a pretty powerful feature, very simple. There are actually many different voice actions that you can do. I'll show you another one, for example. We can turn this mic on, please. Okay, great. So say I have some songs on my phone, my device here, I want to listen to it. Typically, I'd have to go to my playlist, scroll through the different playlists that I have, and then select the song. What if I just want to play the song right away and just tell the phone, play a specific song? Listen to World Cup song. Okay, so detected that I want to listen to this specific song. I'll go ahead and hit go and see what it does. Do you all know this song? Right. So it basically shows you the power of actual voice actions to initiate specific actions that are typically very common on your phone. Okay? Let's just wrap up. Okay, you can listen to that later. All right. So the next one is another example of say you're really busy, you're on the road and you have a meeting with somebody, okay? And you have to get out your phone to basically tell them that you're running late. So at work, everybody knows that I'm originally Egyptian, and most Egyptians tend to be late. We tend to run a little bit late. So what I'll show you right now is the ability to send an SMS very quickly without actually having to pick up your phone. Just tell your phone you want to do exactly that, okay? And my example here is I'm going to send a message to one of the co-founders of Google. Let's see if that works. Send SMS to Larry Page. Sorry, I am running late. Okay, let's try that once more. Send SMS to Larry Page. Sorry, I'm running late. Okay, and there you go. So very quickly. So you see basically detected that Larry Page is in my contact list. I have his phone number. That's not his real phone number, don't worry. And it basically detected that I want to send a message to Larry. So I hit send, and then I'm done. Okay, so that's another example of using voice actions. The last one I'm going to show you basically is picking up on what Nelson was saying around driving directions. So driving directions is available in Jordan and across actually most countries in the Middle East and North Africa. And you can actually use a voice action to do exactly that. So say, for example, I want to go from where I am right now to a Marriott hotel. Let's see if we can actually figure that one out. Navigate to Marriott Hotel. Okay, so basically it says, looks like you want to get directions to a specific hotel. I didn't click anything. It does it automatically if I wait for at least 2 seconds. It's figuring out basically, well, in Amman, it looks like there are a bunch of different Marriotts, so I'll just pick one of these. Let's see the one at the Dead Sea. It's now communicating with the data centers to figure exactly where that is. You'll see very quickly it's determined that it's 53 kilometers, and it's going to take me about 50 minutes to get there, okay? And so we can basically look at this, and we can see all the different directions for how to get there. And I can click on any one of these here, and I can get a sense for exactly what route it's going to take me. So another example of, say, if you're in your car, you can very quickly do navigation like this. Another really good improvement around driving directions on Android. Okay, so let's now move on to something else. Okay, so now we're going to switch over. We're going to talk about what we've done in the machine vision space. So how many people here have heard of Google Goggles? Okay, great. So what I'm going to show you now basically is the ability to take a picture of anything, almost anything actually, and rather than typing that query in via a keyboard, you can take a picture using the eyes of your phone to figure out exactly what that query is and let Google figure out what actually the query specifically is referring to. Okay? So how many people know what this is? Does anybody know what this bizarre mountain is? Okay, so all right, so some people actually did say. All right, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a picture of what I'm seeing on the screen here, and then I'm going to run back to the mobile projector and see if Google can tell me what this is. All right, so let me just set up here. Okay. So I'll just take a picture very quickly and see what it does. Okay, and I'll run back. There you go. So So very quick. By the time actually I got here, it already rendered the page. So very quickly, I took a picture of this. We've detected somewhere, of course, that this is some mountain, specifically in Wadi Rum here. And if I'm actually there, I can click on, say, the Wikipedia first link and learn more about it, okay? So pretty powerful, right? And you can do this with a lot of different data types. I will show you a couple more examples, and then we're going to move on. So, who is this woman? You all know who she is. I didn't until actually somebody sent me this picture. So I've heard about her, but I didn't know exactly what she looked like. So in this case, I'll take a picture of her, okay? This is somebody very famous, okay? And just so you know, this doesn't work on your pictures, for example, but for very famous people, it will work. So don't worry, I'm not going to take a picture of you and you're not going to show up in Google search, okay? So I will take a picture of her right now. Okay, now I'll run back very quickly and see what Google tells me about this person. Does that look right? Pretty powerful, right? So you can see the actual power of Google Goggles here. Basically detected that we've seen this image many times on the web, okay? So what we basically do behind the scenes is, if we see this picture many times on the web, we try and figure out, well, what is it actually related to? And so if there's an href on the image itself, an alt tag, or say text above or below or around this image, and we see this many times, then we basically make that correlation. Okay? I'll show you one last example here of how goggles can really help you in your everyday life. So again, I live in Switzerland. Sometimes I see random signs on the street, especially when I'm parking and I'm driving, and I don't know what it's trying to tell me. Okay? So what I'm going to do here, especially when you're traveling, this is really useful. I'm going to take basically a picture of this, and I'm going to see if Google can tell me what on earth am I actually looking at here. So I'll just come in the front here. Okay, and I'll run back. Okay, so basically it detected text in this image. Okay, so this is basically some parking sign, and it detected some text here that it actually is going to try and translate for me now. So I'll just click the translate button, okay? And there you have it. It's now in English. Does this look right for everybody that speaks German? Yes? Okay. So in this case, I now know what the sign is trying to tell me. I could never do that before unless I had somebody else next to me. Again, one of the cool new features that we have in goggles. Okay, so what I'm going to show you now, and this is actually my last demo for you, right, really, and this is basically something that we haven't launched, okay, and this is something that's actually currently in our research labs right now. So I'll just need the camera to come up with me right now. So what I'm going to show you basically is this, okay? So this basically is a simple ad that you might see in a newspaper or a magazine, okay? So if you can't see it in the back, it's a Ford Mustang 2010 ad. What I'm going to basically show you is I'm going to make this image come to life, okay? This ad itself is going to come to life on my phone, okay? And this is basically in the area of augmented reality. So I'll fire up our little development application here. And I'll basically show you where the advertising space can very soon be heading. Okay, looks like I'm not going to, oh, there we go. Okay, so there it is. So you now see that the actual image now, that sphere that actually appears in the right corner, has actually come to life. And what I can do now is I can actually turn this paper here, this article, or sorry, this ad in this magazine, I can turn it around. I can even move it like this. So if I have my other finger here, you can see I can actually move that actual sphere around. And so this is basically showing you how you can take a simple ad like this and actually make it come to life. If I want more information about this ad, I could click on this Go button, and this would take me to the actual publisher's ad that would actually appear online, okay? So basically the future of where ads can be going is this bridging of online advertising with offline advertising. So you can imagine you're taking, say, a picture of a billboard ad for, say, some new music album that's appearing at, say, some major intersection. You could take a picture of that ad. We'll detect basically the specific song or the album that's being played, and you can actually download songs, preview songs, and maybe even order the album. Okay, so you can see exactly how that's working. If you want to see the Ford Mustang one, maybe you can come by after, and I'd be happy to show you that one. Okay? So that's basically a cool new development that's actually happening on the research side. Okay, so let's switch back now to the main video here. Great. So So I want to basically motivate a conversation that will actually happen later today. So I'm sure a lot of you are very interested about Chrome OS, right? So rather than actually talk about it during my session right now, there's going to be a whole session dedicated to this later on in the afternoon, okay? So if you're interested about Chrome OS, definitely come to the session later on in the afternoon. And with that, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.